tech is coming for finance with or without blockchain. That was going to happen. New corporates, companies like Amazon and Uber need more financial services than the current system is able to provide them. And the blockchain technologies are in the right place at the right time.
As you saw in the intro of the video, David Schwartz coming out with a video here for Ripple's. Can institutional adoption and decentralization work together? In the first episode of the On-Chain Economy series, David Schwartz, aka Joel Katz, says yes and offers that neutrality is key. He explains how tokenized assets and on-chain credit are bridging the gap between TradFi and DeFi, and how the XRP ledger is the perfect foundation to support this shift. If you like these types of updates, make sure you head over to Ripple X's X page, and you can see the link you can click here to go over to Ripple's blog. That gives you this nice 1-minute video over on YouTube going over the on-chain economy with David Schwartz. Even Trump was surprised by the markets crashing to the point that they did today based on the numbers that came out.
A tremendous amount. And I heard numbers coming in today, Scott, where the numbers were very high, right?
The economic numbers were off the charts here.
Unfortunately, right? Because this is the only country in the world where you announce great numbers and the stock market goes down. Because when you announce great numbers, they immediately want to take that success away by raising the interest rates. Why can't you announce great numbers and let them lower the interest rate so you can make numbers? This is the only country in the world. I don't know if you heard. Could you just tell them what the number was? And how
it was 3.88% growth, the biggest in years. And the important thing, as the president says, this is going to be non-inflationary growth, just like it was in its first term. So strong growth, low inflation, real wage gains. And to the question on small business optimism under President Trump last week hit a multi-year high. So small businesses, Main Street is back under President Trump.
But isn't it crazy? So I saw the market was down a little bit today. I mean, in all fairness, I don't feel guilty because we've set every record you can imagine. But it was down, and I say, oh, the numbers must be good.
And we do have some big breaking news, as you heard in the intro. XRP is the first body member of the entire new global payment standard, not Chainlink. Now, remember, there's a big feud going on between XRP and Chainlink. And you can think of ISO 222 as the universal language that banks and blockchains will speak by November, which will be replacing clunky old Swift messages with richer data for faster, clearer transactions. And Ripple's XRP ledger is now shaping all of that from the inside, testing alongside with Swift to bridge crypto and traditional payments. And why this matters is cross-border payments hit $150 trillion yearly, but delays and fees eat into that. XRP sub 4-second settlements could slash those, making it a quiet powerhouse for real-world use like remittances or trade. And yes, you did hear that right. When I said Swift, there is more evidence coming out that XRP will be involved with Swift. Big news, we're launching a major new initiative to transform payments for consumers and small businesses, working with some of the world's biggest banks. Our new scheme will be to ensure that cross-border retail payments are as fast and predictable as domestic ones. This comes from Chief Business Officer from Swift. So they're rolling out this new scheme to over 30 banks to make retail cross-border payments as predictive as your local Venmo. No hidden fees, full value transfers, and instant settlements where rules allow. It's their way of admitting that the old system's creaky 75% of payments already hit banks in under 10 minutes via the GPI. But this pushes for 24/7 transparency across 4 billion accounts in 220 countries. What about the importance? Well, everyday users and small businesses get screwed by opacity today. This levels the field, aligning with G20 goals and opening doors for crypto bridges like XRP to plug in seamlessly. And very exciting news going on right now. XRP Seoul is happening. 3,000 plus participants from 40 plus countries came together with passion, energy, community, spirit to shape the future of XRP and XRPL's ecosystem. Brad Garlinghouse even chiming in. One thing you know about XRP community, anywhere in the world that they show up in force, huge congrats to XRP Seoul on their first event, and we at Ripple are absolutely looking forward to the next. More from Seoul information here from King Val X. Swift admits new global standard for cross-border payments, a new standard of cross-border retail payments. Together with a coalition of over 30 early adopter banks, we're developing rules that will set a new standard for consumers and small businesses sending money internationally. Under the scheme, participating institutions will commit to upfront transparency on payment and FX fees, guaranteed full value delivery, end-to-end visibility of transactions, and commitment to instant settlement where available. And in a video from the archives, Vitalik Buterin knows better than all of the maxis about Ripple and what it can do. He himself admits Ethereum is not the internet of value. Ripple XRP is.
That's really what Ethereum is. You know, people talk a lot about things, talk about cryptocurrency 2.0 being like the internet of value. We're not the internet of value. Ripple is the internet of value. We're an arbitrary processor for state transaction functions.
Yes, you heard that right from Vitalik himself. He says, we are not the internet of value. Ripple is the internet of value. And in a huge, huge breaking piece of news here for all of you investors out there that have ever wanted to be investors but couldn't because you didn't have $25,000 to be involved as a accredited investor, as they used to call them. Well, the Financial Industry Regulator Authority has approved amendments to replace the $25,000 minimum equity rule for pattern day trading. FINRA just greenlit amendments scraping the $25,000 minimum equity rule of pattern day trading, pending the SEC nod. Since 2001, you needed that cushion to day trade stocks or cryptos without flags. Now it's intraday margin based on your positions, no fixed floor. And why is this important for you? Well, it democratizes access. Smaller accounts can swing more without sidelining, potentially spiking volume on platforms like Robinhood, up 1% on the news. In crypto's wild ride, this means that nimbler plays on BTC dips and alt pumps, but watch for risks. It is why that old rule existed for sure, to curb over leveraging. So if you're under 25K, this could be your ticket to test those waters, but be smart. Taking a quick glance here on the daily for Ethereum Bitcoin pair, we can see that new moon energy has definitely driven the pair to the downside, and it is below the 0.037, currently sitting at 0.03558. Long-term momentum wave has actually crashed below the bull bear line here. We are in bearish territory for Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Now take a look at this. Last time we did have a dip for ETH versus Bitcoin under the bull bear line here. When it crossed back up, which was back in July of 2025, it absolutely ripped to the upside, doing a phenomenal job. And it was also powered by the cross and the full moon energy to the upside there. So we're going to keep an eye out on the next full moon. Remember, that does come out October 6th. This new moon energy has definitely been detrimental to the markets as of the last couple of days.